good morning, Felix.
Hello, good morning. Good afternoon. Sorry.
Yeah, I think probably see on this webinar, let me say that people are joining from all over the world. So some might be in good morning, some might be in good afternoon, some might be in good evening. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you guys. Let me say thanks a lot, guys, for joining us for today for this fantastic webinar, which how to attract and convert new customers for your SaaS business. Okay. Uh, I would love to introduce myself, myself, Ramesh Tambe. I'm a CEO and founder of Orion Digital. I got 14 plus year of experience in marketing. I have worked 1,000 plus businesses, specifically making data-driven marketing strategies, working on analytics, getting that analytical data and put forward into the strategies. Out of this 1,000 plus companies, I have specifically worked with more than 500 plus tech companies, which are small and medium scales SaaS and tech tool companies, created go-to-market strategies, data-driven launch ads, campaigns, and help them out to scale on their annual recurring revenue, which is termed as ARR. Collectively, for all of our client, we have generated more than 2 billion plus revenue over the past few years. We are very good with implementing, cutting edge AI driven technologies, which actually turn into return on investment. With that being said, Orion Digital itself, a team of a 70 plus professionals. So this is a bit of information about me. I would love, Vyom, if you introduce yourself and we can go from there.
Yeah, sounds good. So hi again, everyone. Thanks for joining and making the time today for this webinar. We really appreciate it. My name is Vyom. I'm based out of Miami in the United States. So I guess I live pretty close to where Frank's parents are and a couple hours flights away from where Julia and Janet are. Most of my education was a mixture of technology and business through schools like Georgia Tech, which is where I went. And then the first sort of decade of my experience was in management consulting for large SaaS companies. So working across things like product models, billing, customer relationships. I had P&L responsibility, leading various technology and business transformations, and ultimately really building large effective teams is what I got good at in the first 10 years of my career. And then this last 10 years, last decade of my career has been in healthcare, and I run digital and software for a private equity-backed SaaS business. Not just to drive customer value, but also valuation in the private equity space. In my spare time, I run CTO to Grow. It's a small consultancy whose focus is to help small and mid-market companies bring their growth strategy to life with strong teams and really smart technology decisions. On the nonprofit side, I'm president of Sim South Florida. It's a nonprofit that's focused on leadership development for technology executives. And I've known Ramesh and team for a couple of years now, and as a customer across a variety of businesses, and really love what they do and the value that they can add to an organization that's trying to grow. So thanks for having me today, Ramesh, and back to you.
Thanks a lot, Vyom. Such a warm words. Lovely. So, Vishaka, I wanted so today's, let me say, guys, this is not a normal webinar like, you go and watch a big slides and all those kind of a thing. This is a conversational webinar, a more interactive webinar, which is going to wake around. So this is our discussion point today, how to overcome challenges in SaaS businesses, new way to attract new users in SaaS businesses, some unique growth hacking by SaaS companies, how to convert trial users into paying customers in your SaaS business, and how technology can help drive SaaS in a growth. Okay. As soon as we finish with that, we'll have definitely a dedicated time for a question and answer sessions, team. So moving on, before we get started, I have two things to ask all of you guys. So these two questions, Vishaka will put them into the chat. So, what is your biggest challenge you're facing in growing SaaS product and your business at this point of a time? You just need to put your answer in comment. I'll repeat. These questions would be put across into the chat. What is your biggest challenge you're facing in growing your SaaS product and business? Second question is, what is your current source of acquiring new customers? So both the questions will be added into the chat, and you can just comment whatever you challenge you face at this point of a time, guys. So meanwhile, Vyom, to you, why don't you get started and we move from this?
Yeah, so in the spirit of this being a conversation, we figured that, even Ramesh and I can sort of ask each other questions because we do bring sort of complementary experiences to the table. And so Ramesh, my first question is really to you. You talked about growing, almost more than $2 billion in revenue for your customers over the last couple of years. So as you kind of look at macro trends now, what are some new ways that you see out there of attracting customers and users into a SaaS business product or service?
Vyom, I think this is a great question. Everybody nowadays wanted to have anyone who is owner of a SaaS product or CEO, CTO, founder of that, they wanted to have a new user on their product, use their product, be a paid customer for their product. And I don't want to talk about the traditional marketing, Google ads, Facebook ad, email marketing, all those kind of a thing. This works. This works. They spent a lot of thousands of dollars, 2 month, 3 month, and the customer acquisition cost, which is a CAC, which is way too high. And on top of it, there is a churn rate as well. So now, with the age of AI, there's a many new ways how you can do it. I don't want to cover a whole lot of it because we are short of time. So let me say I'm going to cover three very short ways how three new effective ways how we generate new trial users, specifically attract on it. So first is AI driven ABM on LinkedIn. What is ABM? Account based marketing on LinkedIn. Okay, AI is any tool. There are many tools which are good with LinkedIn precisely, but we mainly use few Sally, Expandy, Duxo, Galaxy. Those are the few tools which we've been working on and getting a great amount of a result to our client. When you work on ABM, account-based marketing on LinkedIn, what you have to do is first define your ICP. So ICP is ideal customer profile. Okay, you have to define your ICP. Then every business have more than 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ICPs. ICP means who is your target audience? Is it CEO? Is it a CTO? Is it a operation head? Is it a marketing manager? Who is that? Identify that. Second, which location? Is it US? Is it into that a particular state? Is it UK? Is it London? Is it Dubai? Is it Australia? All those kind of a thing. So age group, designation of that person. So these are the parameters which are very play a very important role, guys, defining ICP. Once you define the ICP, okay, fantastic thing this tool does. Vishaka, can you share a screen and get on that one tool? So meanwhile, she shared the screen. This tool, once you define a precise ICP into it, right hand side, it gives you quickly the score. If you click on that score, ICP ideal customer profile, it show you the scroll, what is the score of that particular thing. So automatically this tool start giving you a different kind of a profiles which are matching with your ICP and give you the score against of that. Once the score is there, you can start connecting them with further different kind of a messages, connections. You can do the automations, you can write the messages, the tone can be given. You can see this is a 40% ICP match. So that way, you can have identify automatically that who are your right targeting audience out there. So you can send him a message, either you can decline that profile and move forward. So ICP scoring with the help of the AI-driven ABM LinkedIn. Okay, that's the important thing. Now, the most important factor is channel partner development with the help of the AI-driven ABM. So define, connect with all the channel partners which are there. So let's say, for example, anyone who is having a company who is dealing into email marketing tool, who could be the channel partner for them? For them, there could be a channel partner like digital marketing agencies, web development companies. Okay, this could be a channel partner. Connect with them. If you onboard minimum 15 to 20 channel partner, they will every month give you minimum 50 to 100 leads. So ultimately, that will lead to thousands and thousands of users month ongoing. Give them a referral program and all those kind of a thing. So this is a one way how you can do it. Now moving on to another point, which is the influencer collaboration. Now you will amaze, like, why influencer collaboration? This is not a, like, e-commerce product. We have a tech product. So guys, what you have to focus on when you collaborate with any influencer, that influencer should be from your industry. Vyom. Precisely, that should be a tech industry. The followers of that influencer from should be the from the tech domain, which is relevant to your product. So I would love to show a piece of a content so you can understand what I'm talking about, Vishaka. So this is one influencer. Vishaka, play the.
Yes, sorry.
How would they know? How would they know? Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know. How would they know? How would they know?
Cool.
How would
Wait.
they know?
So if you look around, Almiraz is an influencer who got 344K followers. Okay, precisely. He's specifically promoting tech product, which is precisely belongs. Vishaka, can you stop that? Just. And he's promoting right now a copilot. Okay, if you see for this his one particular post, we got 21,728 likes. Shorter period of a time. Okay, we got bigger audience targeted with a niche targeting. So this is laser focused targeting, guys, with what the audience you want to target with a less amount of money. So people go watch this video, go on the bio link, click on it, hit your precisely a website link or a demo link, sign up for a free trial or take a demo with you. So that's how it works. I'll show you one more piece of a content with a tech domain itself. Go on this.
Pick any of these topics you see on the screen and learn about them in detail, and it's 100% free. You should probably check it out. Happy coding. If you're a web developer, this website will blow your mind. If you go to this website and click on Playground, you'll find things like this, 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 and if you're bored, even this. But what's the catch? Well, there's no catch. The code is actually available for free on GitHub. But wait, there's more. They've got tutorials, awesome articles, and to top it all off, they've got a CSS reference page, which will allow you to pick any of these topics you see on the screen and learn about them in detail, and it's 100% free. You should probably check it out. Happy coding. If you're
Cool. So, guys, if you look around, David Webdev is a purely a tech influencer, got 106K followers. Okay. If you look around for this particular post, he got 32,173 likes. Okay. So, with this being said, a shorter period of a time, you got thousands of people's eyeball on your content, on your website. They visit your website and go and hit up and join you for your free demo or idle sign up. With this being said, what influencer marketing help is, it's actually helped to increase a brand awareness. It helped to increase your free trial, obviously, with a smaller amount of a time of an investment. So this is another method, guys, to go along and check out. Now, the third most important thing is personalized content marketing campaigns. Okay, so covering on this, we have to divide it into a three-part: competitor audience sharing, specifically identifying your top competitor, okay, and gain his audience to your content. So how you can do this? I'll show you one example how we basically doing this for our client. Identify your top competitor, make the content relate to that, make the ads and push them. So I believe everyone here who is there might be knowing about Zapier. Okay, so it's one of the tool. Pabbly is a competitor of it. So if you see along, scroll down, scroll up, Vishaka, scroll up. If you see, the Zapier is alternative with the external monthly fees. Okay, whereas Pabbly offer a lifetime subscription with a very low cost. Straight away, you grab a bigger audience of hit chunk to your product. So that's how it's a competitor audience sharing with a content marketing methodology. I'll show you one more example of it. See this one. Which tool comes out on a top when it comes to a workflow automation? Zapier. Yearly $1,548 versus Pabbly $699. One-time payment, no recurring fees, lifetime access. You nail it. People always look for a price point. You are grabbing the same audience of your competitor. Easy way to convert the things. Now moving to another point. A type of a content which you work should problem and solution statement. Okay, a content always, anything goes around a content is the king. And any marketing, whether it is a digital marketing, it's a one-on-one marketing, content play a very important role. So problem and solution oriented content, I would like to show across one piece of a content where how they created a content was a problem and how that product is solving the problem with that ad. So this is a Monday. Play the
We're
content.
using way too many platforms for work. We should just use Monday.com.
We're not using that many.
HR, CRM, projects, marketing. It's costing us a fortune.
That's it.
Why use multiple platforms when you can use Monday.com for all your business needs? HR, suppliers, finance. You can do it all from one place. Just choose from one of our templates and you're all set. Go to Monday.com and get your free trial now.
So this is a problem and solution statement kind of a content. Again, you're basically targeting audience solving their problem, with the content. You're putting across on their pain point and saying that, hey, we have a solution for you. So create those kind of a content, attract them, hook them with a different targeting or distribution channels. So channel can be anything. You can reach out to them with any medium, okay, where your audience is, but the content is an effective factor. In that content, talk about a problem and how your tool is solving that solution precisely. Now, another piece is a much more important factor, webinar content, which is the educational piece content, okay? If Vishaka, you can get the screen up quickly. So here we are talking about a webinar, which is LinkedIn lead generation using AI, 2x your sales in 2024. So you have to come up with really a problem or a educating kind of a webinar topics, okay? Create those webinar, promote that webinar, get people registered for that webinar. Ultimately, people who are into a sales, who wanted to increase their sales, specifically working on LinkedIn, those are the users who are going to sign up for this webinar. You got the clue. Similar, you have to do it for your product as well. Create a webinars, host a conversational webinars, educational webinar, call people, get them registered, and pitch them this product. Obviously, the end is they're going to go and sign up for a free trial or going to go for a free demo. I'll show you another piece of a webinar as well, which is HRM software, specifically for software, HRMS software. Discover seamless recruitment, onboarding, and offboarding solution webinar. So who onboard, who recruit? It's HR, okay? Very simplified. Our hook of the content is attracting only the user whom we wanted to target. So here is create a educational content webinars, and through that, you can easily hook them into your funnels of a content and get them for a free trial or a demo. Once you get their information, then you can nurture further. So that being said, Vyom, these are the three fantastic ways which are really creating a great impact and bringing an effective result currently for our client nowadays. Moving on, yes, Vyom. So I think, probably this has been said. I would love to ask a question to you, Vyom. What are some unique growth hacks you have been admire with SaaS companies?
Yeah, and before we dive in, I think both the smart LinkedIn outreach and the webinar, I can personally vouch for, have been very effective growth strategies that we've seen drive both customers and revenue. So coming to growth hacks for SaaS companies, there's probably three things I'd like everyone on this call to take away from that. So the first hack is that don't forget about monetization driven growth, right? Don't forget about pricing growth. Don't just focus on acquisition strategy. Driving growth, there's like various studies that show this, that driving growth by pricing is 4 times more efficient than driving growth by acquisition, right? So like Frank talked about, I think, call it like a $2,000 lifetime value per license for like a 3-year contract. Companies like Salesforce, and I know that's enterprise SaaS, but they bake in a 7% price increase as part of that licensing every year. So there's many examples of this. SEMrush, right, which hopefully most folks on this call know, their entire sales team is just dedicated on driving upsell from existing customers, right? Selling more data, more licenses, more features. ClickFunnels comes to mind. ClickFunnels has a pretty interesting cancellation or retention funnel where if you try to cancel through and they try to retain you, as they get stronger in retaining you, they actually also then drive upsell and referrals. So like while you're on the way out, they're trying to like not only rope you back in, but also getting you to buy better products and then ultimately refer the product to somebody else. And then pricing strategies are also interesting. ActiveCampaign is a good example of this. ActiveCampaign they sort of start with like a low pricing model, like $9 a user, but then really the next tier jumps to $49 a user. And the idea is that similar to what Julia was talking about, as the customers move their data and workflows into ActiveCampaign, they become really sticky with the product, and it's hard for them to then switch out of it, right? So playing with pricing such that you can offer freemium or near freemium, but then jump to a pricing model that becomes more financially attractive and bake in those annual price increases is a good way to grow revenue. The second growth hack, and I know Ramesh alluded to this a little bit with both partners as well as influencers. What I would challenge this team is to focus on loyalty and less on volume, right? Loyalty of your customers, loyalty of your affiliates, loyalty of your channel partners. And what do I mean by this? So ConvertKit is a SaaS company comes to mind. ConvertKit picked one niche partner that basically sold an adjacent service to the same exact customer profile that Ramesh was talking about as ConvertKit. They did one live event with them, and then they took the content from that live event and did 150 webinars in the span of 1 year to drive additional traffic and additional growth from that set of content. Of course, they kept iterating and changing it and making it better, but that resulted in, I mean, you're talking to your exact customer base that ultimately should buy your product because they're in adjacent spaces. So I think loyalty goes a long way, and obviously they did like a 60-40 split with their partner on revenue. I mean, it was crazy, but it helped them grow in the early stages. And then loyalty of customers also goes a long way. So Pinterest is a good example of this. So Pinterest back in the day, right, like when they first started, the founders actually gave out their personal email. Julia talked about like the people-powered aspect of the business that she runs, which is a MailChimp competitor. Pinterest founders gave out their personal email and phone number to the first 5,000 customers that signed up for Pinterest. Why? Because they were seeking to solicit feedback. They were seeking to develop a champion base. And many of those customers actually helped make Pinterest go viral on social media platforms and became Pinterest influencers over time just because they grew up as part of the project, as part of the product. And then the third hack that I would talk about is really, we have to be ruthless in what you are and what you're not, right? In the product and the messaging itself. So if you're a company that helps price and quote for fire alarm companies, it needs to be abundantly clear that that's what you do, and not solve for other workflows. If you are a MailChimp for non-English speakers, and you're powered by humans, powered by people, that needs to be abundantly clear in all the messaging and the product as you position it in the market. Messaging like we're Google Sheets for digital agencies, or we do email marketing for authors, right? Again, going back to that persona that we talked about. So there's a growing trend in the industry to be very shameless about drawing contrast between you and what your competitors do. Notion does a good job of this. Notion is a SaaS product, and they actually built a Reddit community around themselves. It's got like 40,000 people now in Reddit, and they focus a lot on how Notion contrasts itself against like the Googles and the Slacks of the world to help with collaboration and workflow. So it's really about talking to the frustration that people have with your competitors, right? Maybe they don't have a great support or great service, and then turning that frustration into messaging that you can then use to draw out prospects and ultimately customers through subscription. So that's a little bit of, those are some of the growth hacks I like, have used them, and have seen many companies do that in my experience. So Ramesh, I'm gonna go back to you because I touched a little bit upon this with Active Campaign's pricing model and how they go from like a freemium to low cost to increase. And my question to you would be, what are some ways you think we can convert trial users into paying customers in a SaaS business?
Okay, cool. Great question. Before, I give an answer to that, I must say a very great example which you have put across. The example which you have been. So they are remarkable growth they have achieved over a period of a time. So fantastic marketing techniques, and they stick to their basis, I can say. That's the key behind the success. So going back to your question, Vyom, okay, how to convert free trial user to paid customers or getting them a subscription online. So again, I mean, firstly, a lot of customer keep doing, a lot of our client keep creating all kind of, offers to them, sending n number of emails to them. I'll say analyze. Data is the key, you have to set out a data analysis behind of your system. Analyze your customer, analyze your user behavior, usage of your product, make the predictive analysis of your product, how your user are using your product right now, make the analysis. Then depending upon predictive analysis, identify, make the segregation of those accounts, make a different list of your A-class customers, make a different list who is frequently using, who is a dormant user of your product, So you have to make that segmentation of the list when they get on your free trial, Then you have to come up with get a historical behavior and customer behavior on your systems. Understand that, put that data together, and then create a customized offering. Then create a personalized messaging for them, personalized. So I would really love to show across, a kind of a system which you need to develop at the back end of the, particularly when once you get the customer in, what you need to do once you get the free trial person into your system, the backend system should look like how. Vishaka, can you just get that screenshot on top, the workflows of different. Just so meanwhile she getting that workflows. So I think data analysis, as said, and historical data and making the offer according to that. So first thing, a most easiest way to convert and keep your CAC, customer acquisition cost low, you have to rely on email marketing and email campaigns and automations on top. Okay, so you could see here the entire flow of the customers from when they come from a different sources, they come on a landing pages, then what is their user journey look like. They download the app, they get into the forms, they download the premium thing, how the email automations and sequencing is going, how the text messages are going on, the one who downloaded, one who don't download it, one who is on a free trial. So several email sequencings, welcome email series, abandoned cart email series, product recommendation email series, win back email series, feature based email series, VIP email programs, customer stories, feedbacks, holiday and seasonal campaigns, educational content emails, and exit surveys email. So you really need to have comprehensive email automation CRM system, which is backed by data. Okay, you design that, put across a content, and hit them across. That is one basic methodology how you really gonna nail this out. Then you really need to come up with a push notifications which come up with a different offers for user who are coming on a whose trial is come to a closure, whose trial is going to come to an end. Again, the data helps a lot on this, defining that. So you identify by the data whose trial is coming to the close, make a push notifications to them, make the offers, customize offer, personalize content to them. It hit to the nerves straight away. Now, third thing, here I'm talking about the hyper and laser focus ads, retargeting these users on all the channels, retarget them with the testimonial ads, retarget them with a dynamic ad, make them a competitor comparisons ads, precise with the the costing, influencer promotional ads talking about how our product is more better, introduce the limited time offers, bonus featuring nearing the trials. You have to create a FOMO, you have to retarget them again and again. That create a huge impact on user to turn out from trial user to a paid customers. So basic, key takeaways from this, is obviously, you really need to grab the data because they are into your system, identify the data and make personalized offer to them, see how greatly they are using your product, who is not using your product, identify them, make them personalized offer, and develop a great backend system with a several email sequencing and automations so they can hit them, they can retarget them on their mind and create a strike. So this is what a basic, there are n number of points to cover, Vyom, but I think, this would be a better to move on to you now. So that being said, again, Vyom, I have a question for you. How do you think, technology can help drive SaaS growth?
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people, when they think about technology, what I usually challenge SaaS companies for is not just to think about technology and automation and AI as a way to be, make better decisions or be efficient at scale. I think that's like table stakes. Everybody needs to be doing that now, right? But try to think about how you build your product, your SaaS product, so that that technology and how you built the product can actually drive customer acquisition and growth. And there's a couple of patterns I'd like to talk about that I've seen work really well. The first one I'll actually take from what you were saying about converting free trial to paid users. And I think one of the things that is really important is when a user has first signed on to your platform, that onboarding experience that they have in the platform needs to be flawless, right? You need to ask simple questions that help you detect the persona and the sentiment of your users, why they're truly signing up for the free trial, or why do they convert to paid, what do they desire, what do they want to get out of using the platform. And then I think the second thing the onboarding experience needs to do is to really personalize their experience and set the mood. Like it's almost like think you're on a date with your potential prospect customer and set the mood of how you would like them to feel in using the product that you have. And all of this happens in, first impressions, first 5 seconds, first 5 minutes of using your product. As you set the mood, you can start then personalizing the experience itself that they're seeing that's based on their persona, that's based on what they told you their needs are. And then the third thing that a great onboarding experience does is it creates a viral loop, right? And what do I mean by that? It's a pretty well-known sort of hack in the industry, but a viral loop basically ensures that if that user is delighted through that onboarding experience, they take the next step of now referring somebody else to the product as well, right? So some companies that have done this really well, Slack comes to mind. So Slack in very early days used to, you can get like X number of invites to invite your friends and have them join your project in Slack, right? Dropbox actually went a step further. Dropbox actually created a reward system that gamified the referral process in their onboarding. So when you signed up for a Dropbox account in the early days, they would give you free space for referring other customers to Dropbox, right? So from a tech standpoint, I do believe that like spending time on an onboarding experience that's personalized and then sets the mood and then ultimately drives referrals is absolutely a good strategy to drive growth. The second pattern, and this gets a little bit more technical for the audience on the call, but I think it's an important one to talk to your CTOs about, is to really have like a smart architecture and integration strategy. So what do I mean by that? Let's start with integrations. So the default position is like, well, our product integrates with Zapier. Great, like every product integrates with Zapier. The the hack here is don't go wide on your integrations because everybody's going wide in integrations. Go deep in your integrations. Go a step beyond what Zapier can do with their mapping. And if you look at companies like, again, like Slack or Auth0 or Expensify, they've all heavily invested in strategic integrations from day one. In fact, Slack grew because they were heavily integrated to GitHub and Trello, and that wasn't really easily found elsewhere else. The second point, and I'll wrap it up quickly, the second point I'll make is that be very, very friendly to developers. Be the Stripe, be the buffer, right? Have documentation, specifically if you have a product that developers should build APIs to, have very user-friendly documentation and APIs. And the last thing is that as you build new modules in your product, make it easy for customers to choose to use or not use those modules, right? With variety of pricing and feature flags and things like that. There's nothing worse than buying a SaaS subscription, going into a product, and then only like knowing or using 10% of it, and the vast majority of it you're confused by or doesn't give you value, right? So try to, again, personalize that experience through feature flags or component design in your architecture. So I know I got a little bit geeky there, but those are the technical ways that you can actually help drive growth in a SaaS product. And with that, back to you, Ramesh.
Fantastic, Vyom. I think that's really helpful because customer experience is a very important thing. What customer experience you give to them. While onboarding, I'm trying to go for a trial sign up, and I have to put across a couple of times several authentications or verification. I'm not getting my email on a time. There is a delay in getting a verification code on email. Obviously, today's world is super fast, super fancy, super fast. There are n number of people sitting out your competitor taking, that one customers of yours. So that's very well said, Vyom. I think, yes, onboarding process and giving that customer experience, making that customer feel extraordinary, special, that always create a big impact. Well, that being said, I think we would really love to take this forward. We would love to start with a question and answer session. Before we move to that point, we just wanted to show that, what Orion Digital basically offer in terms of services and what kind of achievement we have done for SaaS companies in over a period of few years. Vishaka, can you share screen and just show that? This is something, Orion Digital expertise is a growing free trial up, monthly recurring revenue, promotion for your tech product, podcast, webinars, defining, business conversational funnel development, personalized content marketings, and hyper-focused targeting ads and email marketing and CRM setup. These are few of our expertise. Moving to kind of achievement what we have. Yeah, so these are our achievements, the kind of a demo calls we have achieved, the kind of a customer we have acquired, reduction in cost per sign up, growth in trial sign-ups, reduced cost per lead, hosted number of events, and collectively generated the amount of revenue for over the past few years. So this is what, in terms of achievement, what we look forward. Now, move back to the another slide, Vishaka, which is, so if anyone wanted to schedule a call with us, we would really deep dive with them and talk forward how we can help them. Moving on to that, guys, we are open for question and answer session. Me and Vyom would take one-on-one. Anyone who have the questions, we would love to answer them.
And as you're thinking about your questions, one observation I had and some of the answers people gave about what is currently challenging you, and a lot of it was about awareness and outreach and prospecting. But then the second question was, well, what are the sources that you're using to drive that traffic today? And one thing that I felt was missing, and maybe it's part of the channel mix, is really using partners as a growth channel for driving awareness and ultimately converting customers. And there's a very specific way, and I think about partners is thinking about in the B2B space, who are the other folks that sell to your target customer? Where do they sit in the supply chain? And does that create partnership opportunities for you to learn about your prospective customers and then co-sell with them, right? And so whether that's a digital agency partnership like Ramesh talked about with like an email marketing automation platform, or whether it's, Frank, in your industry, are there companies that supply all, 1,000 Florida fire alarm companies, right? And they're part of that supply chain, and you can tap into that company and convert them into a partner that can then help you drive awareness on the pricing and quoting engine. So that was just something that I thought that was interesting and missing in driving growth. So I wanted to comment on that as people thought about questions.
Lovely, Vyom. Great. So guys, we would love to answer your question. Eric, Flex, Frank, Janet, Lucy, Seth, Abhishek, anyone, we would love to take on your questions and see what kind of a challenges or how we can help you out. You guys have any question, can unmute and you guys can ask a question. Frank, Lucy, Rick, Janet, Abhishek, Seth,
I have no questions. I'm good.
you good?
I'm good as well.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. This was very, very helpful. I don't have any questions either.
Okay. Felix, you have any question?
No questions, Ramesh. Thank you very much for the info.
Eric, Janet, no question, guys. That's amazing. I think, it's great, Vyom, joining us for today's webinar. It was really helpful. I think we have really created a great value. So we probably, will send the recording of this to everyone. Vyom, I'll share this recording with you as well, so we can go from there. So last moment, I think, if anyone wanted to ask any question, we are love to answer them.
Yeah. And I'll just add, thank you again, everyone, for joining. If you actually have feedback on the webinar, things that you felt we should have covered and didn't cover, or things that we covered that you felt were particularly helpful, we would love to hear that feedback as well. It'll help us improve this, and then of course help others who might hear this in the future.
Cool, lovely, great. So I think, Vyom, we are close to just get concluded. Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys.
Sounds good.
It was really
Thanks,
a
everyone.
wonderful session.
Thanks, Abhishek.
Hope everybody has a great year ahead. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye, guys.